iPhone 16 is in controversy right now. You might be thinking that Apple did an excellent job this year, but actually this is the worst iPhone ever released. The main things making iPhone 16 stand out from previous models were the new capture button and the new AI features or Apple Intelligence. And unfortunately, both things messed up the iPhone 16. Other features include a slightly larger display, thinner bezels, 5x telephoto lens, and some others you are already familiar with. But the capture button and AI features were coming to iPhone 16 for the very first time. If we talk about the new capture button, it sucks in many ways. First, it's positioned awkwardly, making it unnatural for your index finger to rest on it, so you have to keep reminding yourself of its presence. Second, the touch sensitivity is unreliable, making it difficult to predict the outcome, and the swiping feels inconsistent. Adjusting settings through camera control takes much longer compared to simply tapping the screen. Switching between lenses, adjusting exposure, or using the new photo styles is faster and more convenient when you avoid camera control and just interact with the screen as usual. Third, camera control doesn't add any new features, it just complicates accessing the same settings. Ironically, the one new function Apple promoted, the ability to lock focus and exposure by tapping and holding, isn't even available yet. It's expected in a software update later this year. Camera control feels like an unfinished feature that Apple is still fine-tuning, which unfortunately reflects a broader trend seen throughout the iPhone 16. Additionally, it's been observed that when pressing the capture button, the screen freezes, preventing any touch input. Even after turning off the capture button, the issue persists. If you accidentally press the button, the iPhone becomes unusable until it's resolved. While it doesn't happen often, when it does, it's sure to cause frustration. Now let's move toward the next advertised feature of iPhone 16, the Apple Intelligence. You can't find any problem with this feature because the feature isn't released yet. It means the base feature on which iPhone 16 is advertised and covers a good percentage of Apple event isn't even released yet. In other words, we're essentially getting the iPhone 15 in new colors. Apple fans may have been eager to flaunt this feature in front of S24 Ultra users, but instead, Apple chose to release an incomplete phone, once again promoting it as the best phone ever. When the iPhone 16 launched with the old version of Siri, I felt a bit of my excitement fade. You have to understand, all of Apple's marketing for the iPhone 16 this year has heavily focused on Apple Intelligence and the new Siri. It was the first thing in the reveal videos and featured prominently in Apple's ads, showcasing how useful this new Siri would be. They even redesigned the fascia of their flagship Apple Store with the Rainbow Siri Apple Intelligence theme, as if it were already available. However, not only is this feature still unavailable, but when it does launch, it will be in beta form, not the final version. Siri's new intelligence features, touted as the main selling point for the iPhone 16, won't even arrive until next month. And that's just for a limited set of features. Major updates like Gen Emoji for custom emojis, native Chat GPT integration, and the smarter Siri framework with personal context still don't have a release date. Plus, key features like Siri's ability to interact with what's on your screen and perform actions in apps without touch aren't arriving until later. Apple has only committed to rolling out a portion of these updates in October, starting in the US, meaning we might not see some of the promised features until the launch of the iPhone 17 next year. Imagine an average person seeing all this hype around Apple Intelligence, getting excited, upgrading their phone, only to unbox it and find that none of those features are actually there. And when some of them finally do arrive, the other cool stuff Apple showcased is still missing. Here's the thing, Apple is better than this. They're the biggest tech company in the world, yet they aren't being upfront about the full roadmap for Apple Intelligence or giving firm release dates. As someone who's already bought the phone, it doesn't feel great. So, where does that leave us with the iPhone 16? It basically leaves me feeling the same way I did before, conflicted. While parts of this phone are impressive, they're overshadowed by the extra baggage Apple has piled on. The value proposition isn't as clear as it usually is, and Apple is really putting their customers' trust to the test this year. Apple's whole brand is built on delivering a consistent experience, not just on one product, but across everything. When they start fragmenting features and releasing things that feel incomplete, that trust will slowly start to erode. I think Apple needs to be more cautious than they're being this year, because the bigger issue now is that they have to deliver on everything they've promised almost perfectly, or people are going to be really disappointed. Every feature Apple hasn't released yet needs to work exactly as advertised, or many will be frustrated, not just because we had to wait, but because the result wasn't up to par. To be clear, I fully believe Apple will pull it off. They have a lot of pressure on them, with so many people who've already spent their money and just want a finished product. It's going to be really interesting to watch over the next year as we see how this phone evolves, when the promised features roll out, and ultimately, how long it takes for the phone to be truly complete. We have no clue when the final feature will be ready, and for now, that's where we'll leave it. To wrap this up, it's clear we're in for an interesting ride with the iPhone 16. We've got a device with loads of potential, but it's not fully realized yet. Apple has set high expectations, and now it's up to them to deliver. We'll be keeping an eye on the updates, the features, and how well they execute on what they've promised. For now, all we can do is wait and see. If Apple gets it right, this phone could truly shine. But if not, well, let's hope we're not left with a half-baked experience. Thanks for sticking with me on this journey, and I'll keep you posted as more unfolds. Until next time, stay tuned. Stay connected with Grounded Tech.